KFAN celebrates our $5,000 teacher winners, and iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time to nominate a public school teacher making a difference. They could be next to win $5,000 to make over their classroom. Do it now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Couple 13-14 past time common. Tend to be the legendary Mark Rosen. I walk in the door and you get ripped right away by somebody here at the radio station. Several people. You know,
at the radio station?
Yeah, they ripped you. You know what they ripped you for? They said,
no.
Look, it has to make it about himself every year because you sent out a text with a picture of you and a bunch of other people that covered the Minnesota State high school hockey tournament. They said he had to make it about himself.
How was that about myself?
That's what I don't know, but that's what they wanted.
One person, I'm thinking to myself, and I'll answer everybody. That's fine. I included here. What did I write?
You sent out a black and white photo. It was so long. It was black and white.
First of all, it's color.
Oh.
And most people are going, they were the glory years of the high school hockey tournament. All I'm saying, I said, I felt nostalgic for this astonishing, talented group to the state high school hockey tournament with. I can't believe it's been 41 years. That's all. Too many legends lost. So here's, a picture.
And you were being accused of but
how is it that about myself?
Well, because you're in the picture and it's about me and
what?
But that's how cynical people are.
Well, I don't really give a damn.
I don't either.
Number one,
I defended you.
I just say, if anybody out there, whatever chosen profession you had the opportunity for X number of years to work with the likes of Lou Nanny, Herb Brooks, Doug Woog, Tom Hanneman, Tony Parker, Chris Cuthbert, who's one of the best announcers to this day in Canada. I mentioned the late Tom Hanneman, Paul Braun. This is what the picture was. And I can't, mostly I said, I just can't believe so many of my friends and these people are gone. That's about me.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I mean, I didn't even mention, I said, I got a chance to be around this group. I mean, I feel sorry for people if they haven't, whatever chosen profession they have, if they haven't had an opportunity to work with a group of people. And there's so many more people that were behind the scenes, no matter what the case may be, over a period of, how many years that we did it for, and it was one class tournament. And I'm looking at this picture with Herb Brooks and Lou Nanny and Doug Woog and RJ Fritz and Tom Hanneman. All of them are gone. And it makes me sad. It makes me appreciate the time I had with them. And if that's self-serving, well, then I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you're here.
I'm sorry, because if you had an opportunity to, whatever business you were in, to have an experience like I had, the experience of just working with these people, to sit at a between breaks at a dinner with Lou Nanny and Herb Brooks talking hockey, and I'm just a fly on the wall. I think most people would say I would have loved to have had that opportunity, and Doug Woog in particular. Those three, I mean, who have forgot about more about hockey than anybody will ever know.
You're preaching in the choir. I got to work with Davy Joe Simser,
right?
Ethan Neal McIntosh, and Tenneby.
That's the same thing.
I would put them.
I always love that.
I just think it's. I
never put selfies of the two of us on your social pages, but
no. Well, this was a picture that was taken by the station. This was before even cell phones existed.
Look, no offense to you,
85.
Davy Joe, and Ethan Neal. You guys aren't Brooks, Woog, and Louie.
No.
I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to work with those. Right. I didn't get a chance to work with those.
Well, next time I'll try to X myself out of it and just say, and most people, again, I've been talking about, I remember the features you guys did,
I think we all do.
The music videos that you did. I mean, it was an astonishing group effort. The station spent a ton of money. Everybody poured everything into what that tournament was all about.
Yeah, good luck with them pouring money into it now, right?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's different times. There's two tournaments. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that was, it is. I do get nostalgic about it, but mostly because I miss so many good friends that are in that picture that are no longer with us. And, and that's part of the process of realizing, that was 40 years ago. I mean, that's a lot of people who weren't even born, who don't know maybe even who those guys are. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people don't even know who Tom Hanneman is, or the fact that Chris Cuthbert to this day, and who's one of the best hockey play-by-play guys in the world, has continued to talk about what a thrill that was for him to come down here and do the state high school hockey tournament. He's done Stanley Cup finals. I mean, he's done it all. It continues to be at a really high level, and be able to work with someone like Chris Cuthbert during that time, and that was special. So,
well, you talk about nostalgia. Tenby, 20 years. How many years have we worked together?
I think we're at 20 and a half. Yeah, 20.
So 20, this will be 21 now.
Yeah.
We have watched the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament together.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day,
every year.
Every year. The daytime.
Yeah.
You know, what am I looking for?
Grand Rapids scored. Okay.
Yeah, Grand Rapids scored 10-17.
On the power play.
Yeah. And, Rosemont has had the best of as far as shots on goal, 6-2. Grand Rapids with a power play goal, 10:09 to go in the first period. This is Grand Rapids, the 5 seed against Rosemont, the number 4. But Tenby and I have the day sessions, the daytime sessions, we have watched together for 20 years.
But as soon as your show's over, are you going to stick around with Tena to watch the end of the game?
He's got daycare. He's got kids.
Otherwise, you would.
Well, sure we would.
Yeah.
Tenby and I do that kind of thing. Just like you and
Shelby?
Donnie Shelby.
Yeah. Yeah,
When you guys made a big deal about the two of you watching it all together, and as we said then, well, you guys were working at the station together for all those years, so you had to watch it together.
But tonight you could go to Tena's house or something.
Tena's got hockey.
Well, it doesn't matter. One of these nights, if you did that, then I would be impressed that you guys actually watched the tournament together.
We are watching it together.
No, I'm talking
We're watching
about
together right now.
Outside of work, that would be special. You guys, but that would never happen in a million years.
Yeah, I've got a family to talk to.
Well, you got a family. They're not 10 and 11 years old. They don't want to hang out with you.
You don't think Deuce wants to hang out with his old man?
Not that much. I've talked to him.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
I asked him the other night, I said, do you want to go to the slot machine with elderly?
Slot machine.
Would you like to go with elderly, or would you rather go with another young? And he said, well, of course I want to go with you.
Right.
So we went.
That was cool. No, I will tell you again, just cherish these times, especially when your kid's at home. I mean, my son's in L.A. and I miss him dearly, and he's coming to town in June. But yeah, I mean, it's any chance you can. You never regret those times that you have to obviously spend some time with your adult son.
Do you dust and vacuum your own home?
Well, I do a lot of chores. I like to vacuum. I'm not.
Oh, you do? You enjoy it, actually?
Actually, I do. I find it therapeutic. I mean, in a lot of ways, I do. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I'm more of a. We have our responsibilities that after dinner, like last night, we made our tilapia for dinner. And
tilapia.
Tonight's salmon. But I'm mostly the clean up the counter guy and put the dishes in the dishwasher guy.
Okay.
Afterwards, we have our responsibilities, and we don't have to really say a lot to each other. But I'm not a big duster, but I do. I like to vacuum once in a while. It's why? Yeah,
well, Tim, we were just talking about a story I stumbled upon that said Gen Z males think that at least in the poll they did that they should. That's the men should kind of be in charge of the household. And
should be in charge, though?
And then there was just a picture that was along with the story.
Right.
Was just a floor shot of a guy lifting up his feet on the couch, and the woman was vacuuming. So then Tenebinus and I just got into this about chores at the house and the cleaning.
Right.
Teneby hires out. I don't want to give the money to people. I don't mind spending money, but I vacuum and I dust. I don't do it as regular as I should, probably, once every 3 to 4 weeks. But we're going to talk about I do a thorough job too. I don't just do a cursory, a quick dust over. I mean, I dust every single inch of the house. Yeah. Every single inch.
That's good. That's interesting. Yeah.
And I don't necessarily enjoy it like you enjoy.
Well, I would say I enjoy vacuuming, but it's not, of all the household chores, I'd rather do that than make the bed or something. I don't mind the physical labor of it. I did have an interesting conversation yesterday, and the podcast will break tomorrow with Gavin Kaysen, the well-respected James Beard Award-winning restaurateur. Spent his formidable years here with his family and starting a whole bunch of restaurants. I said to him, and we grew up in an era. I don't know if it's the same way where. in school, in high school, the guys were all required to take shop. The girls all took home ec.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm thinking, what a backwards world we live in. That was the real Ozzie and Harriet. Like, well, the women are going to do all the cooking and the men are going to do all the, the labor.
Well, that was just kind of the way it was, though.
I know,
then.
I understand that, but think about now in particular. I mean, to go back and to say, man, I would have loved to have taken cooking classes because, well, there's a lot of math involved, number one.
Well, I wanted to take the home ec just because then I could flirt with the girls.
Well, that's why I took typing. That was my favorite class in high school because I took typing, and it wasn't just learn how to use the keys.
And then think about this: it led to your
absolutely.
It came in handy for you as
100%. I knew how to type when I walked into WCCO, but I mean, we had to do formal letters and all that. But home ec would have been. I mean, it'd been nice to learn how to do the basics of cooking in school as opposed to doing some wood carving of a duck or something. Anyway.
Here's a text message that says, I, for one, am sick of people giving Mark a hard time. He's a legend and couldn't have been nicer and more generous with his time when I met him at the draft party. What a great guy. Ignore the noise, Rosie. Ignore the noise from the people.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm not, ignoring it isn't what I'm trying to do. I mean, I don't particularly care. People want to throw stuff at me that way. I'm here just to say, I only wish that you, whatever field you're in, would have a similar experience.
Right.
That I was able to afford to have in my career, working with literally the best people in the business. That's all, no matter what it is. 100% doesn't matter. You don't have to be
It just wants to be nice, for you to send a picture out of Common and me and Lil B and say how great it is to get to work with these legends.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
don't
nice.
have a picture of you guys.
Well, I have one in my book of the three of us. In my book, it's the three of us when we were down doing the opening day for the Twins.
Baseball.
And we were at
the restaurant.
No, what's the name of the place again?
I'm in your book.
Well, yeah, your picture.
I didn't know that.
Read it.
Yeah, what was the name of the place? What's the name of the place again where we would go downtown and we'd broadcast from? Right across from the Loom.
Right next to Rosen, the old Rosens.
Yeah, so we'd go down there.
What's the name of that place?
And there's a picture. Somebody took a photograph. It's a black and white, which I just love.
Yeah,
of the three of us sitting there talking baseball, and I'm making some point, and the both of you seem to be listening intently because that's what the picture looks like.
My eyes were open and I wasn't sleeping?
No, but what I think is if you could put those little, thought bubbles above it, both of you probably say, what the hell is he talking about right now?
What the hell's the name of the restaurant? Why can't I think of it?
I'll think of it. It was doubles or double play, double.
Oh, man. Yeah, those were fun days.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got plenty to get to. Grand Rapids leads Rosemont 1-0, just under 7.5 to go. First period, Class AA quarterfinals at the slot machine. We'll break. Come back with more after this here on the Fan. Brothers was the name of the place. Brothers.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Get ready for a night of pure classic rock. The Guess Who will special guest Don Felder. Live at Mystic Lake Amphitheater, June 25th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Get the details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's Tenneby. Mark Rosen here as well. Tomorrow, Tenna out. Brett Blakemore in. Lil B will join us at 1 o'clock, and then 1:30 for program password. Two other legends that the legendary Mark Rosen had a chance to work with is Amelia and Frank will be coming in to play program password tomorrow.
I just talked to Amelia today. She called me, ding, ding. Yeah. We caught up on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
Well, Frank has been under the weather. I hope he's okay tomorrow.
I hope he's okay tomorrow.
Yeah. No! I would not necessarily guarantee that, but I'm not living in his house.
What do you know?
Oh, just what Amelia told me, because she said she's working the night shift tonight. Because I said, how's your new schedule going? Because she doesn't have to work nights anymore. And she said, well, as it turns out tonight, I have to work because Frank's sick.
Well, I got a text message from Deuce, and it says, Rosie, word with her, Brooks, and Lou Nanny. I got to play password with Common and Fullness.
Well.
Tenna, your thoughts?
Very comparable.
Close.
Deuce.
Looks like Vikings are going to release the Allen character.
Jonathan Allen.
Making big money, signed a 3-year deal for $51 million last offseason. Probably his performance did match his salary. I mean, I don't know if you're splitting it three ways, but it'd be about 17 million a year.
Right.
Salary cap casualty, they're everywhere. And, we talked about Grenard. That's a salary cap casualty. And, really, someone said to me that his current contract isn't that bad, but he wants a raise.
It's not that bad because comparable to other top flight defensive ends. And, of course, he's not a free agent, so the Vikings would be able to, and hopefully, if that indeed is the case, as opposed to restructuring his deal, they would get some, pretty decent compensation for Jonathan Grenard if they make that move. But it's all going to be happening kind of fast and furious starting on Monday. The Allen and Hargrave thing, they spent a lot of money on those two guys, and they're, again, now they're going to...
And the interior offensive guys. And
correct.
The center barely played because of the concussion.
Well, sadly, and he's probably done for his career, but...
and then Fry's played a lot. He was okay, but I don't think he was a Pro Bowler, so... But, so the money they spent last year, I talked about it, too, where after the big game, I think it was the Schneider guy, the GM for the Seahawks, said, I know people are going to say this probably sounds crazy, but, man, we hit on every single free agent signing.
They hit on everything.
They hit on all their free agent signings. And then the Vikings, he was just talking about last year. Going into last year, they hit on all their free agent signings, and the Vikings did not. So.
And now they're going to reward, the Vikings are going to reward Jalen Redmond, and deservedly so, with a new contract. Eric Wilson will re-sign here. So that's why these rosters never stay the same, no matter winning a Super Bowl or not. It's always an ever-changing, landscape because of the salary cap, and it fortunately works out that way where, guys put themselves in position to command X amount of dollars, and the teams that sign them, develop them, and maybe end up winning, they can't no longer for the most part, afford them unless, there are obviously exceptions to the rule, but there'll be a lot of changes starting early next week. I mean, your guy Max Crosby's been mentioned a bunch of times, and now it's apparently Dallas was in the mix for him, but other teams are offering multiple high draft picks for him. They had to drop out, so that's probably the most intriguing name out there.
Well, I think there's some steam out there with the Bears trading DJ to
DJ Moore
Did they trade him to the Bills? No, is that where they trade him to the Bills?
Yes.
DJ Moore. There's some people suggesting that, as Tennant B mentioned, they've got a really good tight end, young kid. They got two young wide receivers, so they have weapons. So they felt not only is Moore expendable because he's a little older, making good money, but that also frees up salary cap space if they decide to pursue Max Crosby.
Right.
And that's why it seems what I've been able to read. And again, things can change quickly, and sometimes you don't know if rumors are just rumors or if they're innuendo or whatever there are. But the smart money seems to think the Bears have the inside track on it right now. But that could change quickly if a team blows the Raiders away with an offer. And the Lions were rumored to be a team. There was like we were having fun yesterday with it by hitting the breaking news sounder because I saw a half a dozen stories that had a half a dozen different. Possible places where he could play. So we just have to let it play out.
Well, wait a minute. He's not a free agent.
No, they have to trade him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I just want to double check.
We're
on the same page with that.
Yeah,
they can't
they have to trade him.
Go ahead and sign him.
Andrew Kramer writes Viking football for Fish Wrap Factory West Side. He had a piece from yesterday, about this time yesterday afternoon. It came about 24 hours ago. It says, free agency preview. After big swings in 2025, how much will Vikings reshuffle the interior of their D-line? Their intent was to be able to create more pass rush. That's why who was the guy we let go that was a good run stopper in the middle?
Harrison Phillips.
Yeah, Harrison Phillips. We let him go because we decided we wanted some inside pass rush. We basically didn't get much from the two guys we got. And what Kramer does is he puts up a list of names of free agents to watch. Mm-hmm. Onyemata from the Falcons, Franklin Myers of the Broncos, Logan Hall from the Bucks, Gallimore from the Colts. And while I'm sure all of those players offer some upside, when I read the quick description of each one of them, it seemed like it's one guy's relatively young. think it was the Gallimore guy. No, he's entering age 29 season. Somebody else is, Hall is just turning 26. But when you read these quick little paragraphs about him, it's not like you're going, man, what if we could get that guy?
Right.
It was like, yeah, okay. He takes up space and he's probably got some skills, but it was nothing where you could get, at least I didn't feel like I could get really excited about it because I saw what happened last year. Because the 4 guys we got last year were all, I don't know if you want to say highly regarded, but they all had success in the NFL. They were NFLers. They weren't just like, well, here's some guy. He's a backup piece, right? Mm-hmm. Just for depth. These were all guys that had started. These were guys that had performed at a high level. They were older and were, for the most part, and were coming off injuries, but they decided to take a chance and didn't work out. That's why I look at these names, and I'm not against any of these guys, but if we were to sign any one of those guys, I just go, okay, I would just cross our fingers, hope he stays healthy, and hoping he plays to his whatever his contract.
Yeah, and in the world that the Vikings are in right now, that's, I would think sadly, but that's the reality of probably the kind of player they're going to get. I don't know how many people got all pumped up when they signed Van Ginkel. Cashman was a good player. Eric Wilson's a perfect case in point. He's been around for quite a while, and now he's turned into be an outstanding player in Brian Flores' system, and they're going to reward him. Jalen Redmond is another one. So you just don't know. It's a matter of getting some of these players that just haven't had that opportunity, playing in the right scheme. So yeah, they may not be a former number 1 or number 2 draft pick, but they're right in that wheelhouse where they could, with the right system, the right coaching, the right situation, still be a very valuable player on a defense or an offensive line in particular. I mean, there's obviously a lot of spots that the Vikings need filling, in particular the running back position. I don't know if that's going to be filled with just a guy with free agency, or they're going to have to wait for the draft. It's a little risky to wait just for the draft, especially, in reality, they're not going to take their 18th overall pick is not going to be a running back. So, I suspect they're going to sign a running back or 2 in free agency. And again, he's not going to be a big name. He's not going to be the Walker kid from Seattle, not nearly in their price range, but every team has a lot of those situations where you just there's a lot of bodies that need to be filled, and they'll eventually get done. That's what they meet for all the time.
We're through 1 at Class AA quarterfinal number 2 afternoon session. Rosemont Trails, Grand Rapids 1-0. Grand Rapids about midway through the first period scored a power play goal. So Grand Rapids leads 1-0. If you're looking for radio coverage, look no further than KFAN Plus, right, Tenemy? Is that where we're airing the games right now? KFAN Plus.
96.7 FM.
A high energy Helvey on the call.
Or on the iHeartRadio app, of course.
Of course. You would download it and with the fan for sure, make it a preset. We'd appreciate that. Let's pause, come back. One more segment to go today, in the last segment of the week for the legendary Mark Rosen. He'll join us again next week. We'll break, we'll come back. Got a couple of other topics I want to bounce off Mark. We'll do that next here on the Common Man program with Common Tenemy and Mark Rosen on the Fan.
Wolves.
Looking to score tickets to the biggest games and concerts in town? From the Minnesota Wild, the Santana, the Doobie Brothers, Chris Stapleton, and more, your chance to win is waiting. Enter now at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Remember when Joe Micheletti led the tourney with 7 goals and 11 points when Hibbing won the championship in '73? You could have texted that out today.
I could have. The Michelettis were quite the story in Hibbing.
Joe Micheletti.
I like the numbers on the front of the jerseys. Those look cool.
That? Look at that picture.
Better than the anchor, I think, anyways.
I don't think Kevin McHale was on that hockey team.
Lou Holtz, dead, 89. Your thoughts?
Wow.
Did you ever get to work with him at the state high school football team?
No, I worked with him plenty of times.
Oh, you did?
Well, sure. I mean, I would say that of the 2 coaches that came to Minnesota over a period of time, and both weren't here all that long, the two that had the biggest impact were Lou Holtz and Tubby Smith. Most surprising additions for both the football program and the basketball program when Lou came here from Arkansas, and he turned he came in guns blazing. I mean, I remember him being on our afternoon show and the newscast, and he was they called him Music Man. I mean, he had everything going, and he said, look, and we're going to start a new tradition. We're going to play Saturday night football games at the Metrodome, turned it into a real collegiate atmosphere, and he did. I mean, the place was jumping. And I heard you talking earlier. I always heard I thought were good sources that he had the out with Notre Dame. That was the case.
Royce says it's nonsense.
Yeah, well, it might be. Pat certainly knows his stuff.
But then someone sent a quote from the autobiography of Holtz, and he says he did have an out.
Well, I just remember that part of the story was that Paul Giel, who was the athletic director, was in the hospital at the time. He had some heart issues. And that I think Lou was going to be, I think that the context was, well, if Lou was going to be both the athletic director and remain as the head football coach, he'll stick around here. But Paul was not. I don't think he could literally sign off on it, so I don't think Holtz had the appetite to stick around. And maybe more to that story. But I remember going down to, for whatever, they sent me to South Bend to cover Holtz's introductory news conference down there. And I remember Lou looking up, and he gave me one of those, oh, great, you're here, looks. But he was an engaging person to be around. He certainly brought a level of enthusiasm and brought in some damn good football players as well for that short period of time that he was here. So, I think everybody realized it probably wasn't going to last. As it turned out, we know the rest of the story going to Notre Dame. I heard Pete Versich talking about it today and the success that his teams had under Lou. But Lou, and then like I said, when Tubby Smith came here, it was like, wait, what? Tubby Smith is going to coach the Gophers? So, I mean, those two were probably the biggest college hires in the history of the university in terms of surprising.
Minnesota Wild have made a trade.
Did they get Trocheck?
No.
Oh.
They acquired defenseman Jeff Petrie from the Florida Panthers.
Hold on.
No.
Where's the who? Can you first hit who?
Who?
And then don't tell me they gave up a second-round pick for him.
In exchange for a 7th-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft. That draft pick becomes a 5th-round selection if Minnesota wins their first 2 playoff rounds and if Petrie plays in 50% or more of the Wild's playoff games during those first 2 rounds.
Bill George Allen Guerin trading away the entire future to try to grab the brass ring to get a Stanley Cup. This is dangerous, Mark. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know a damn thing about Jeff Perry. Is that his name?
Petrie.
Oh, Petrie. Like
what I'm saying is, do you think we're trading away too many?
No. They don't have them. No.
Let's just say if he makes a good pass, we call it a Petrie dish.
Oh, my. He's 38 years old.
Wait, hold on.
That's pretty good.
Okay, Maury Amsterdam guy.
That's pretty good. He's not. He's a little long in the tooth.
He's up there in age.
Do you think we're trading away too many assets? We don't have many left, Mark.
I wouldn't think. Will they give up a 7th?
Yeah, if you're giving up a 7th, that's nothing.
What we gave for Quinn, then we gave up a 2nd-round pick for McCarron. 2nd round. There are people that are outraged about it. A 2nd-round pick for a 4th-line guy. What's Billy doing over there?
Future's now. If they want to be physical in the postseason against the teams they're going to have to go up against, they're going to have to get some guys like they just.
So you're okay trading a 2nd-round pick for him?
I don't have any problem with it.
I didn't either, but Tenneby was
too much.
Very disappointed.
All right. Well, I'm just reading about
Tenneby doesn't like parades.
Petrie. Well, he's played with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6th team.
Oh, he's 38 years old.
Yeah, he's been around. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But he brings some grizzled veteran experience.
This is kind of it, I would assume.
Well, I don't know, because here's what I'll tell you. You've all heard about saucer passes. He does the Petrie dish. Thank you. Michael Russo tweeted this earlier. It says, Wild Trade Tracker. Pursuit of Trocheck fading.
Yeah, I heard that.
As price remains too high for Guerin.
Yep.
What's too high a price? What do they want for him? Is winning a Stanley Cup too high of a price, Bill? Is it too high? What price is too high to win a cup?
Well, they probably want one of our young studs. I don't know. I would assume that you don't want to give up. I think that, looking at the Quinn Hughes trade and of course, it's all incumbent upon him signing a long-term contract.
What if he doesn't? What if we go nowhere this year and he goes elsewhere?
That would be a disaster. Yeah, that would not.
You know what?
Don't say that stuff.
Ain't going to happen. But what if it does?
Well, he has that option.
And you are the future is now. What are you going to say to the fans and the listeners if they let's say what the scenario I just spelled out. We
Minnesota?
We get knocked out the first round. We lose to Dallas. Is that who we play?
No, we'll play Dallas, yeah.
We play Dallas. We get knocked out. And then Quinn decides to sign with his brothers in Jersey. What will you say about the future is now, Mark?
Ask Bill Guerin that.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that funny?
Pass the buck to Bill.
Yeah. Looking for a fall guy. Right?
Well, you got to have a fall guy. Yeah.
I talked about it. I said the same thing when the Wolves traded for Gobert. They traded a lot for Gobert. And I said, at the time, I said, look, I don't know if the two big men will work, but as bad as this team has been, I'm willing to try anything. The Wild have been not much better,
Right.
When you look at, how each season ends. And so I'm like, yeah, I mean, as good as this team is, and this isn't, I don't think, we always do the old trend mirage. This is a large sample size. They've been really, really good. I watched them play the other night, sort of kind of with half an eye, and they were really good. So I don't mind playing for, now, when I say playing for this year, I don't mean just this year, but I don't mind saying, you know what, we might, next year, year after that, couple years after that, we might not have as much, we might not have as many assets as we'd like to have to keep building the club. But if this team had already had 2 or 3 banners hanging from the rafters, you could go, and and some people would say, well, that shouldn't make a difference because that was then, this is now, and I get that. I said, what have you done for me lately? But I tend to think I don't mind trading the assets. Again, easy for me to say because I'm not the one that owns the team or making those decisions. But I don't mind. But I also said this when we talked about, everybody kept saying, Billy's going to make a big trade. He's going to make a big trade before it happens. And I said, that'd be great, but I don't even know if it's necessary because without Trocheck, look at how well the team has played. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want to add talent if you can and if it's reasonable in that. But I don't look like it. If the trade deadline comes and goes tomorrow at 2 o'clock and we don't have Trocheck or another big name, we just go, well, there goes the season. It's over.
No.
We still have a very good team that could make a really long run and maybe win the whole thing. So,
well, that's the idea. Not just you got to start by getting past the first round, which is in all likelihood going to be the Dallas Stars, and whether or not you have to open up on the road is really irrelevant. I mean, that part of it doesn't matter. I don't think to this team and to the makeup of them, and I think we've seen enough of what this team is about and the young players and the ones who shined in the Olympics that they're very capable. But it's that getting past. I mean, I just feel like if they can get past the first round, the first hurdle.
Nothing's going to stop us now.
Well, I mean, I think they have a good chance to make a pretty long run. But you got to get past that first hurdle, and they're not going to be in over their heads. It's not as if you're playing, either one of these teams that you go, oh my God, we have to face them in the first round. That sucks. This team is very capable of beating anyone, and they're very capable of losing to anyone in that first round. These are the teams that they have to face. But it all comes down to that, and I think the fans will be judging, the Guerin and the whole team based on how they perform in April. That's just the nature of everything that goes on, and especially with how long a drought it's been for the Wild to win a first round series. But I'd say this team, you're right. I think is better equipped right now with especially their defensemen and all the people. They just added another one to be in a position to do the things necessary. To advance, and man, it would be fun. I mean, it is. I just go way back to 2003, but you get on a run, you get those 4 out of 7 series, and I talked about that with watching the World Series last year, and just there's something special when you got a 4 out of 7, in particular if you end up getting the Game 7 situation. We know what that's like, and it's been a long haul. It's been a long drought for the Wild to be in a situation like that. But let's hope this is the year.
This hockey insider tells me Jeff Petrie, the Wild just traded for 38. He thinks there's mold growing in that Petrie dish.
I like to have a kind of the grizzled guys once in a while. They got a lot of young guys in that team.
This one says Jeff Petrie is actually the son of a famous couple, Rob and Laura.
Rob and Laura. That's an old school reference a lot of people do not get.
Here's another one. Twins beating the Yankees 15-0, and Rosie doubted him. You did. You've been harder on the Twins than anybody I've ever seen. I actually was wondering.
Why? You know what? Today they beat them.
15-0.
Oh, wow. Well, that ought to turn the season around.
But what's interesting is ever since you got out of the TV business, you've been hard on this Twins club.
Oh, come on.
And what's interesting is because you were as big a pole, you were on the Mount Rushmore of pull-out pocket protectors. You, Suhan, Lavelle, and I don't know who the fourth would be. They're out there. Everybody that would always defend the team and what they did, whatever they.
Well, that's not true.
And if this would have been 10 years ago, you would have been talking about how great it was that the Twins were ahead and beating the Yankees, and this team has got some real moxie to them, and now you're just dismissing everything about them.
Well, I'm win, lose, or draw. I don't really put a lot of stock in exhibition baseball games. Now you can look at Luke Keeschel went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, going, this guy's the real deal. I don't know who the pitched for the Yankees. It doesn't matter.
We don't tell the Yankees who should be on the mound.
Was back pitching for.
Let me ask you a question. Does Keeschel tell the Yankees who he wants to throw to? No. The Yankees put somebody out there. Whoever's up there, Well,
that's good. The Twins are 3-8-1 in the exhibition baseball. I wouldn't put any more stock in that. They're 8-3-1 than I would 3-8-1.
All right. All said.
Let's just wait till we get to the season. But yeah, it's always nice when they.
Someone says to me that Emily Kaplan, she writes for ESPN.
Yes.
That she's reported that for Trocheck, it says Minnesota's trade offer. I don't know if he means it's what the Wild have offered or what.
It's probably what the Wild's offered, because even Russo has been has reported. Bill Guerin has given his first and final offer. Bill Guerin is not one of those that eases his way up to Rob. Right. He just here's my offer,
Okay, is this the offer? Charlie Stramel,
yeah.
Stramel, a 2027 first-round pick, as well as another player or prospect.
That's always been kind of what Russo has been reporting, it'd be a first-round pick, plus, we don't have too many prospects to give away, but Stramel was one that the Wild drafted in the first round a couple years ago, had a bad first college season, ended up transferring to Michigan State. Now he's been great the last 2 years at Michigan State. But
the Rangers haven't officially said no, have they? Or are they Russo's saying that things have cooled off? But
Russo's just saying that New York's asking for too much.
Okay.
That the Wild have made their offer and they're not going to go up on it.
Got it.
Well, let me ask Craig a question if he's listening. Do you want to win the Stramel Cup or the Stanley Cup? Which cup do you want to win? You're going to let Charlie Stramel, a college player, stand in the way of winning a Stanley Cup. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Knock yourself.
What are you talking about? It sounds like the Wild have offered him.
Oh, they have. Oh,
the Wild are offering Stramel, but New York's not accepting.
Oh, that's okay. There goes my bit. Dang it. Well, then why doesn't New York take that? Charlie Stramel, who's had a terrific 2 years in college, a first-round pick in 2027, and another.
I do wonder how much is just negotiating through the media,
a lot.
Trocheck has been tied to the Wild for this whole time, but now let's act like it's cooling down, but there's still a day.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be done today.
Things can heat back up tomorrow.
What time is the deadline tomorrow?
2 p.m.
Okay. Well, plenty of time. Like you said, it's all negotiating.
10-8. If the Wild trade for Trocheck tomorrow, are you on call?
Well, I'll be on a plane at some point, but if I'm not on the airplane, yes.
Okay.
Call in.
Yeah, well, I need him to.
I know.
He's the jolly green guy.
Blakemore will be here.
Yeah,
the problem you're going to have is the trade deadline is going to be right during the middle of program password.
Well, you have to break into
and if
that.
Rosemont just tied it up.
Wow. There you go.
We're tied at 1. Rosemont. Mount. They
I like Rosemont's jerseys.
Yeah, they're
pretty sweet.
The Irish. They are the Fighting Irish. So there we go. Luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
So
the 5 against 4 seed, normally a pretty good game. That's best one of the first day.
Do you have those stats in front of you, or are you just suggesting?
No, I'm just suggesting that you had normally,
because I don't know if you took a look. It might. Who knows? It might be 3-6. Might be the greatest of all.
It might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
This normally is the one.
It is
most evenly.
I'll take your word for it. You've covered them with Louis and.
Yeah, well, they didn't have seating back then. They would just.
You covered it. They
would rotate them. It could be
based on what section you're coming out of.
That's all that mattered. Yeah.
You covered it with a lot of the legendary ones.
Good times.
What's What's the situation with the Wolves sitting? Are they sitting like a
They're home tonight.
Percentage points out of third place, or are they in third?
They are.
They're the percentage points out or they're in. They're battling, I think, Houston for that spot right now.
Yeah, Houston's tied. Minnesota, they actually have.
They have 2 games in hand, right?
Houston's 38-22. The Wolves are 39-23. So they play the same amount of games.
Okay.
Both.
They haven't played the same amount of games. We've played 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. My bad.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's what I figured.
But they're the same amount of games behind. It's just
Correct.
they are up based off of win percentage.
And the Wolves are home tonight against a good Toronto team that they always have trouble. They've had trouble with, mostly on the road. But Toronto's here tonight. See if the Wolves can. I think they're on the road.
Will you be there tonight?
I will not. No.
Close circuit to Charlie?
No.
If he's got seats, you'd go.
Bell
right?
rings, then I'll answer it. But no. No, I'm not planning to go. No, I'm responsible for dinner tonight.
Salmon.
It is salmon tonight. Tilapia last night, salmon tonight. I eat that healthy fish.
You like that?
I do.
Yeah, but I've always been taught. I'm trying to scare you here, but I hope if you eat too much fish, you have a tendency to get a lot of that fish has mercury in it.
Okay, you know how much fish you'd have to eat to get mercury
I don't
poisoning?
know.
I mean,
Who told you that? The fitness king?
Dietitians. I mean, I don't think it's loaded with mercury.
Well, I'm
not eating it that much.
You eat it every night.
No, I don't. No, we don't.
Pretty much.
No. That's good for you.
Can eating let's just find out.
All right, go ahead and Google it.
Too much fish.
Kind of fish too. It depends on the
fish. Cause mercury.
Oh my
poisoning.
God.
Yes, you can get mercury poisoning from eating too much fish, particularly species high in this metal. Swordfish.
Okay. I don't eat a lot of swordfish. I do eat
That's
it.
your favorite,
No,
don't you?
I eat it like once every 3 months. I don't.
Swordfish.
A lot of people don't even have swordfish.
Salmon.
Does it say
Tilapia.
salmon? No, you're lying.
It says large predatory fish like shark, swordfish, king mackerel, and tilefish pose the highest risk. Are you eating much tilefish?
I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
You're sure?
I'm positive. I've never asked the butcher.
Do you eat much shark?
I eat no shark.
How about king mackerel?
No.
Do you eat sardines?
No. I don't like sardines.
Oh.
They're squishy.
I don't
Weird.
eat any fish at all. You know why? They taste fishy. I just don't like that taste.
That's how you prepare it.
But, if you eat, did you know squirrel tastes like rabbit? And then rabbit tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty much. Frog legs taste like chicken.
Do you eat frog legs, too?
Yeah, once in a while in the summertime, when they have them. I never had, but I had them down at David Fema's restaurant. They were phenomenal.
I'm going to start calling you Mercury Mark.
Mercury Mark. I don't think that's of all the other issues I have going. That's probably dead last of my concern is mercury poisoning from eating too much fish.
I'm just looking out for you.
I appreciate that comment. I know you have my best interest in mind.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, 100%.
Tilapia nutrition. It's highly nutritious. Lean white fish offering 23 grams of protein. It's best prepared by baking, pan-searing, or broiling. How do you prepare your tilapia?
Normally in the air fryer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's already seasoned and put it in the air fryer for 8-9 minutes, something like that.
Does it stink up your air fryer?
No, not really. I wash it out pretty carefully right away. So
I'll leave you with this.
okay.
I said, is tilapia bad for you? It says tilapia is not inherently bad for you. It's safe, high protein, low calorie, affordable white fish rich in selenium and B12. However, it is often considered inferior to other fish due to its low omega-3 content and potential for contamination, particularly when sourced from poor quality aquaculture farms in Asia. You're not getting it from aquaculture farms in Asia, are you?
I have no idea.
Well, you're getting it from your home away from home, Kowalski's.
I'm getting it from Kowalski's. I don't think they're...
You practically lived
Actually, I saw a real... I mean, they had a whole fish, and I asked the butcher, so what is it?
Yeah.
That's tilapia. I said, never seen it with the head on.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you...
Kyler Murray will be a Viking by next time I see you.
We'll talk to you Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Tenby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
I'll see you soon, next week. You're out next week. We enjoyed our visit. Stick around. Big Ticket JG, they're next right here on The Fan.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.